Jen here. I am popping in. I just showered. It is 11 o'clock at night and I had a quiet moment, and so I wanted to hop on here and say hello to everybody. Wish you guys all a happy new year and give you a little bit of an update where I've been and all that kind of stuff, where I'm hoping to take my channel for this next year, and also do the mental health moment because I haven't done that yet, and it's really important. I really want to be able to chat with you guys about it, and so let's get it done. Let's do it. Let's talk. So let's just start with what's been going on lately in my life. Where have I been? 2021, you guys, I mean, it was a COVID year. We were in a pandemic, and so that in and of itself would be a totally great excuse for anyone who had a year like mine on my channel, where I was kind of popping in and out, having some really productive months, and then some months where I kind of wasn't just there at all. But we had some extra stuff going on, and so it definitely took a lot of just my time, literally the time that I have in a day to work through all the things that were going on, but also the kind of emotional energy that I had and the mental energy that I had. I was just zapped. I definitely went through the whole kind of pandemic burnout thing, and then adding in all the extra stuff on top, it wiped me out. So we adopted a little boy, a baby, a sweet, adorable little guy. A lot of you guys know that. I've shared that with my channel. He's popped into a few of my videos, and he's 2. And he's busy, really busy. And we are not the young 20-year-olds we were when our oldest, who's now almost 17, was 2. And so it's just, you know, been kind of a fun year of adjusting to the energy of a toddler, and diapers and bottles and sleep times, and, you know, all that stuff that babies bring into your life. I think I'm gonna do a video on the whole sort of adoption thing and a little bit more into that kind of stuff, so I won't go into all the detail here with you guys. Please feel free to ask questions. I do love to talk about adoption, so if you have questions about it, respectful questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, so definitely leave them. But suffice it to say, there's, you know, a process to it, and attaching and bonding and learning about each other. It takes time and it takes energy, and it's emotional, and it's a roller coaster. So all of that has been going on through 2021. And then we had a couple extra surprises with him. He, in the spring, had an MRI because he was having some issues with his left side. He has very low muscle tone on his left side, and it affects him walking and running, and just like physically affects him, but it also affects things like eating and swallowing and those types of things. So he had an MRI, and we were expecting that probably they would come back and let us know that he has cerebral palsy, which he does. That wasn't something that we were too surprised about, but we were quite shocked to find out he actually has 2 other neurological anomalies, or I guess you could consider them to be brain injuries that we weren't expecting to hear about. So he has 2 other conditions. One is called perisylvian polymicrogyria, PMG for short, and the other one is called gray matter heterotopia. Both of them have a whole host of things that kind of can go on, but one of the biggest things for us right now to be looking out for and paying attention to, and really kind of our concern and our worry at the moment, is they both have an almost 100% likelihood of seizures, and so that's been a really big thing for us, watching him really closely. It's possible he has had some seizures, and so yeah, it's it's been a bit of an adjustment. It's meant introducing an entire team of neurologists and neuromotor specialists and occupational therapists, physiotherapists, speech therapists, rehabilitation therapists, because he has an AFO for his left side, feeding and swallowing clinic, so much stuff. It's kept us super, super busy, and just, you know, being a mom, it is something that kind of niggles in the back of your brain that, you know, your baby isn't maybe 110% the way you want him to be. Nothing's gonna hold this kid down. He's tenacious. He is incredibly smart and witty and funny and charming. Oh man, he'll charm the pants off of you. And he's stubborn and he's determined, and nothing is gonna hold him down. But there's a journey that we have to take with this. So it has definitely taken a lot of our time and energy, and emotionally, it's just something that is that extra little weight that we're adding on top of other things. And then, you know, we have 3 other kids, and they all have their own set of special needs and, you know, special connections and their own journeys and paths. And so it just was a busy year for us trying to introduce this whole brand new family, as I like to call it, into our family and into our everyday lives. So yeah, it's taken a lot of my time. We moved, which also takes a lot of time. We had to find a place, which was no small feat, and you know, then move here. And I still don't have pictures on the walls. I still haven't quite kind of set the house up the way that we really want it. Our kids all chose different paths for schooling this year. Kaylin decided she wanted to stay home and do online schooling. Our boys, middle boys now, I have to get used to referring to them as the middle boys, they chose a nature-based learning program. So they do school outside all day long, even in the winter, which is super cool. They're having so much fun, but again, it's new things and new routines and new things we just have to, you know, kind of keep adapting to. And so it's it hasn't left me with a lot of time, and it has left me incredibly exhausted. I've been just very kind of deflated. My motivation has been very deflated. My channel was really kind of rolling for a bit, and I was really excited to see the growth, and I was anticipating a lot of really fun things going on for 2021. And when I had to slow down, and then I saw my channel kind of slowing down, that really kind of kicked me in the butt a little bit, and I lost quite a bit of my confidence and my self-esteem and just the motivation to keep going. I kind of went through a period of, you know, what's the point kind of thing. And I'm so thankful for the Scrappy community and my Scrappy friends, because those ladies never let me down. They motivate me, they encourage me. I'm sure that if I really needed it, they'd hop on a plane, fly out here and kick me in the butt if that's what it took to make sure that I kept going. And so I'm gonna keep going. Here I am. But yeah, it was a crazy year. I also have a bunch of my own health problems that I have been working through. And as I think I've got everything kind of nipped in the bud and I know what's going on, new things are cropping up. So physically I haven't been feeling the best, which also can really deflate you and cause a loss of motivation and stuff like that. So that's where I've been. And I can't thank you enough, and I say it all the time, but I really want all of you to know that truly from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful that you guys have stuck with me and that you have the patience. You've shown me your patience and your grace, and know that I'm not taking that for granted. I really appreciate it. Every time someone comments, anytime I get a new subscriber, I still do a happy dance. I just think it's really fun. I love growing this little family that I have going on here, and I thank you. I love you guys and I thank you. So going forward, my channel, I want to keep going. I really do want to push and grow. I would like to turn this maybe into something that could make me a little bit of money, that would allow me to maybe stay home a little bit more instead of working out of the house quite as much, which would really be beneficial for me to be able to continue taking care of our little guy, making sure that he can get all the therapies he needs, and you know, gives me some time to work with the resources that we need to find and that he needs. So I'm hoping that I can take the steps, whether they're baby steps or they're big steps, but I'm gonna keep seeking out the opportunities to grow and push and expand and see what I can do. And I'm also gonna take this year to just really enjoy creating. So for me, that means a lot of creating without the camera on. Daisy gave me special permission to do this. So I'd like to bring you guys a lot more share videos rather than process videos of every single thing I create. I was starting to get really bogged down by finding the time and the place to do voiceovers. It's hard because I don't have a closed-in scrap room. I have an actual scrap room now, but it's open to the whole house. And so it's still hard to find time to do voiceovers, and physically I'm having some issues with anemia and things like that. I can't stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning anymore like I used to be able to do. So voiceovers have been hard. The editing I can get done, the filming I can get done, but having the quiet house where I can do this type of thing and do voiceovers, that's where I'm struggling. So I'm gonna seek out those places where I'm able to get that done. But I don't want to feel bogged down by it. I don't want it to be work, and I don't want to feel like I'm letting everybody down when I can't make those things happen. So layout shares, project shares, all that kind of stuff, crafty shares. I plan to bring you a lot of those. And when I can film and when I can get voiceovers done, I will go ahead and post everything that I do get done. But I'm going to say that I am committing to 1 video a week. If I get 3 videos done in a week, that's perfect. If I get 2 videos done in a week, that's still perfect. If I get 1 video done in a week, I have hit my goal and I'm quite happy with that. So with that being said, I'm continuing with a lot of the series that I really love doing. Everyday Inspiration, Stretch the Sketch, Off the Board, the Christmas In series, all of those amazing series that I love. But if I have to skip a month here and there, you guys don't know this, you just know that I've skipped the month, but I need to stop beating myself up over that. So I am really challenging myself to be okay with that, to find the harmony in prioritizing certain things over other things and just letting it happen the way that it's going to happen. And so if some months I can get all of them done, that's perfect. I'm going to say perfect a lot probably. That's my word for this video. But if there are some months where I can't get any of them done, that's also perfect with me. I'm going to be totally okay with that. So you might notice that I kind of go in and out of certain series, and I'm going to stick to the series where the people who organize them are okay with that. I certainly don't want to commit to something and have anyone be upset because I'm not participating every month. So I'm just going to take that little extra time to message the organizers and say, hey, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about combining 2 series and stuff? And just pick the ones that are really going to work for me and that I'm really enjoying. I love the series that I'm part of, so I don't want to lose them, but I do need to make sure that I'm making that space for myself to be okay with not getting everything done. I'm definitely a people pleaser, so that's a tough thing for me. I have a couple new series that I am going to commit to every month, one of them being the mental health moment. So that's something I mentioned at the beginning. Daisy and I, and hopefully other people, will kind of be able to come on board too. We plan to do a lot of face-to-face chats with you guys. Maybe it's only once a month, maybe it'll be multiple times a month. It'll kind of depend on how I find the time and the space to do face-to-face chats, but we really would like to continue with the dialogue that she's actually started a few months ago, talking about how we're doing. We're not all doing okay, and we need to talk about it when we can, and find those connections to each other, and understand that we're not alone, and create a safe space where we can ask each other questions and ask for help and encourage each other, and get rid of the stigmas and the taboos surrounding mental health and surrounding what's going on. It has been 2 really, really hard years, and it's not going away. And so let's talk, let's connect, let's engage, let's ask questions. And I hope that you guys find a place here on my channel, and also on her channel, and anyone else who joins in with us, where you feel safe, that you can message and ask questions or share something that's been going on, because you need to connect to somebody, and you just need to get it off your chest. You need to talk about it. You need someone who understands. Please, please, please message, leave comments, whatever it is. That is the goal of the mental health moment. Every month we're going to pick a general theme, and that's just going to help kind of guide the discussions, so that we're not kind of sitting in front of the camera just talking about ourselves, but we'll have that sort of guidance. But really it's about connecting and engaging. And if you haven't checked out Daisy's videos, please go and check them out. I'm going to leave her links down below. I'm so proud of her. I hope that's not a weird thing for one adult who has never met another adult to say about them, but I really truly am proud of her, and I'm really happy to be her friend and see what she's doing. I think it's incredible, and go check it out, and let's keep the talks going. So this month in particular here in Canada, Belle does a Let's Talk day. It's the 26th this month, I think. I'm going to do a full video on that day of one particular issue that has really been affecting me this year. And then I would like to break up this month's topic a little bit and see if I can bring you a couple of videos, because I think it's kind of a big one that we can chat about quite a bit. So I won't do a really long mental health moment in this video. I'll touch on it, let you know what the theme is, and share a little bit about what's been going on with me. But there will be more coming, because I think it's really important. So that's a new series that I'll be doing every month. Daisy will be doing every month. Daisy and I are also going to do a reading journal series. Again, maybe it's only 1 post a month. I'm also toying with the idea of maybe doing 1 YouTube video a month, but then also maybe doing some TikToks. Yes, I know I'm saying TikToks, but TikToks, Instagram Reels, just Instagram posts, and kind of doing my whole reading journey through all my different social medias. So I haven't quite figured that all out, but I have started my journal. I'm ready to talk to you guys about the books I've been reading this month. And what else? Oh, and then I am gonna keep going with Dollar Tree hauls. I'm actually gonna film a Dollar Tree haul as soon as I'm done this. I know, like, I have wet shower hair, I don't have makeup on or anything, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Part of the reason that I've really struggled doing face-to-face videos is that I don't have a lot of confidence in myself. And so being in front of the camera, I'm very kind of preoccupied with how I look, and can you see, you know, the wrinkles and all the, you know, blemishes on my face, and what's my hair doing, and do I have a double chin, and all this stuff. And I'm really trying to work past all of that and just enjoy the video, enjoy chatting, enjoy sharing all my Dollar Tree goodies or whatever it might be. So I'm filming it. As soon as this video is done, I'm doing the next one. So Dollar Tree hauls, I'd love to do more crafty stuff. Again, that might be kind of a combination of maybe some process videos and some Instagram reels and other things, but I just want to have fun. This year is just going to be about fun. It's going to be about taking baby steps. There are some businessy opportunities and things that are going to be coming up that have kind of been in the works for a while now, but I will let you know as they come up. I'm also sticking with Wild Whisper design team and maybe looking to find a couple other design teams that fit me and fit kind of that need for a little bit of flexibility as life gets crazy. We never know what might happen with our little guy, that kind of thing. So I know that there are design teams out there that are okay to work like that, and so I'm gonna take those opportunities when they come. But yeah, I just want to have fun this year. I hope you guys have fun and you continue joining me on this, you know, journey. And let's do it. Let's get back on track and just get this channel going again and connect. I love your comments so much, so please feel free. It doesn't even matter if it's about the video. If you just want to say hi one day, pop it in the comment. I will respond back to you. I just love that. Rebecca and I have some more kind of topsy-turvy fun hops. There's all kinds of celebration hops going on that I want to be a part of. So I just am going to have lots of fun this year. Okay, hold on. My foot's falling asleep. Wake my foot up. Take a sip of water. Let's talk mental health. So for the month of January, the theme that we are going to be touching on is, oh, and that Daisy has already touched on, she's again doing a phenomenal job, is motivation. And especially motivation in a month like January, which for me living in the Northern Hemisphere, this may not apply to people living in the Southern Hemisphere, but it could apply when it becomes your winter or during other periods of time where you've kind of had prolonged celebration or you're planning a wedding, that kind of stuff. We're just coming off of the Christmas season, the holiday season, if you will, for people who don't celebrate Christmas. But December is a long month of high adrenaline, high cortisol, high dopamine, you know, a lot of fluctuations in emotions because people go from being really happy and celebrating to oftentimes having moments of just being very kind of sad or missing people, or, you know, we have a lot of moments of reflection as the year ends. And so there's a lot going on during the holiday season, and then boom, January hits and it's like back to real life. And that's not always as easy for some people as it is for others. And then when you throw in the fact that here in Canada and in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in our shortest days of the year. So it is dark when I get up and I leave for work in the morning, and it is dark when I leave work and drive back home at night. I miss the entire day, the entire sun, you know, daylight section of each of my days because I'm at work. That not only has an effect on you from a psychological point of view of just feeling like everything you're doing is in darkness, but you are actually missing opportunities to get fresh air, to absorb vitamin D, to you know, do a lot of the things that we do in the summer that we kind of can take for granted. Add to that the cold weather. There's pretty much nowhere in Canada that doesn't get at least a few days out of the year below 0 degrees Celsius. It gets cold here, and we don't always go outside as much when it's cold. We have to cover ourselves up when it's cold, which means any sunlight that we do get doesn't have a lot of skin to actually you know, hit, and the vitamin D isn't getting absorbed through our snowsuits and through our big boots and all of that, through our toques. So, you know, there are problems with seasonal affective disorder. Depression is a little bit higher in January. It just is kind of this big happy high of December, and then it all kind of crashes a little bit in January. If you have a credit card Christmas, then January is when all the bills hit. There's just lots of things going on, and so it can definitely take a toll on your motivation and how you're just feeling. How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling emotionally? What's going on from a neurological standpoint? You know, if you were riding kind of a dopamine high, have you kind of, you know, had to readjust to lower levels of dopamine in January? That can cause things like feeling depressed and that kind of stuff. If you already have those conditions, January can be a month where they just get aggravated, they get sparked. So, I do suffer from seasonal affective disorder. I start taking tons and tons of extra vitamin D, usually in kind of the end of September into October. Sorry, I had to do a quick pause there. The dog just hit one of the baby's little trucks that was left out, and it just talked for like, oh, it's still going. It just started talking for like 5 minutes. Okay. I think that might be it. I think we're done now. So seasonal affective disorder definitely hits home for me. I load myself up on, oh, it's not done. I load myself up on vitamin D because I need that extra help. A lot of Canadians do, a lot of Americans kind of living in northern states need that extra help. Europeans do. The sun is the furthest away from us. It's just gonna keep going, and I'm just gonna talk through it. The sun is the furthest away from us that it will be kind of all year, so even the vitamin D that we can get from the sun isn't quite as good, quite as potent. And so, you know, it's hard to stay motivated when you're not feeling good, when you're emotionally not feeling good, when you're physically maybe not feeling good. Depression does cause a lot of physical issues as well, pain and things like that. We're not eating as well. There's just lots of things going on. Wow, that went for a really, really long time. So how do we get motivated? This is, you just caught a glimpse into my life and why sometimes it can be hard. I think it's really, truly done now. So how do you stay motivated? What kind of things can you do to help yourself kind of push through the things that are bogging you down at this time of year? Whether January is that time of the year for you guys or not, how do you get yourself through it? How do you kind of push through the whatever it might be that's holding you back? So in my case, it's the dark, it's the cold. Alberta has actually had 8 of the top 10 coldest places on earth several times in the last few weeks. It's been cold, you know, and it wears on you. So the little things that I kind of do to get myself through the day is, one, I give myself permission to just get through the day. And I know that sounds kind of weird to some people, but I don't wake up and say like, oh, I just need to survive today. But I kind of say to myself, I just need to make today the best that I can make it without any expectations of being that super mom, that super wife, the, you know, super productive, whatever person that society thinks I need to be. I just want to wake up and do the best I can. And if the best that I can do is cereal for dinner and watching a TV show with all my kids and they go to bed quite happy, then that's awesome. That's the best that I've done. I almost said perfect. That's great. That is the best for me that day, and I'm okay with that. I also like to leave myself lists, but not to-do lists in that classic sense of here's everything I need to get done today, but more like here are all the things that I can do today when I feel like I have the motivation to do something. So they're almost more suggestions than actual requirements, if that makes sense. Sometimes I get a lot of the list done because I feel like there isn't any pressure to actually get it done, and so I kind of enjoy the process. And sometimes I get nothing on the list done, but the list is there. And so if I get little moments where I think to myself, I'm chatting on the phone, I have ADHD, so I am a super fidgety chatter, and I need to doodle or I need to do something. But sometimes if I have that list sitting where I can access it, I'll get on the phone and be talking to somebody, and I'll do the dishes or I'll clean something. So I write it down so that my brain doesn't have to take that extra energy to try to figure out what I can do. So no expectations, but here are some suggestions. Let's see what happens. I give myself that grace, and I also give my children that grace. And January isn't a tough month for all of my kids. It happens throughout the year at different times, different things come up, but it's definitely a tough month for my teenager. She's almost 17 years old. January is a time where you're finishing up high school stuff, you're getting ready for exams. Her exams mean more and more every year, so there's a little bit more pressure there. She also has anxiety, she has depression, she has ADHD, so the physical toll of January being darker and all of that, seasonal affective disorder, it all falls on her shoulders as well. And so I give her the grace she needs, because I know what she's going through and I know what it's like. And when my kids have months like that at different points in time, I remind myself that this is what they're going through in this moment, so let's find some tools to help keep them going. So on that list of suggestions, I always have a few crafty things, and sometimes they're really small. Like Daisy showed some little tags that she made, and I thought that was perfect because anything you create, you should celebrate and be proud of. You don't have to be as productive, and I am actually going to talk about that word productive in another video, but you don't have to compare your productivity to somebody else's productivity. Create for yourself, enjoy the process. The process is different for everybody, and so you want to take the time to enjoy it in a way that's meaningful to you. And so if that means that you're doing little bits of crafting here and there, maybe you start a project, like you start crocheting a scarf, and it gives you something to do throughout the month, and every time you kind of have 5 or 10 minutes to sit down and do it, and you get a certain amount of it finished, celebrate that. That's fantastic. You don't have to give yourself a deadline to get it done, because the point isn't finishing it. The point is the process and enjoying the creativity. And I have mentioned before that creativity is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the more you use it, the better you get at it. And so in months where it's really hard to stay motivated, finding those little moments where you can create something and feel that little spark can sometimes carry you through and can snowball and just kind of build and build. So I know for me, Project Life is a great way to kind of fulfill those little sorry, the dog is right beside me here, those little bursts of creativity that kind of work to just give me that little spark and make me feel like I'm doing something, because I don't even have to do it at my desk. I can literally take 1 or 2 cards and just create those, and I can do that in front of the TV in my living room with the baby crawling all over and doing whatever he's doing, and you know, the teenager yelling from her room downstairs that she needs something, and the 2 boys chatting my ear off about what's been going on. It's portable. I've shown you a few of my videos where I've put together my little travel kits for Project Life. So, you know, I put them in a little box that's a little bit bigger than 5 by 7, and I can go create anywhere that I want. I can do it at the kitchen table if I want. And so I just find those places where I'm comfortable, I'm not overthinking things too much, I'm not feeling, you know, really down or upset about myself, and I have that box with me, and if all I get done is I plop a picture onto a card and put like a title or draw some doodly border around it, I've still accomplished something. I've still taken myself one step closer to finishing a page or finishing a month in one of my albums. So I feel like that's a really good thing to do, and just understand that every step you take is a step forward, and you have created something. We don't have to have these expectations of doing big monumental things all the time. I also think January is a great time to clean your scrap room, and sometimes going through your stuff sparks some motivation. It builds your mojo. You find a piece of paper that you've been hoarding for 10 years and you had a plan for it, and suddenly you pull it out and go, oh my gosh, I know what I want to do with this. And then you start creating. Just being around your stuff. It doesn't have to be purposeful in the sense that you don't have to plan this whole big clean out, and you don't have to rearrange your room, and you don't have to do anything too big, but just being in there, knowing your stuff, maybe pull out a couple of paper pads that you haven't touched in a while and just flip through them. Maybe something sparks, maybe something doesn't. Maybe pull out a couple of those papers, go sit in front of the TV and just fussy cut them. If that's all you get done, you've still taken the step of, you know, fussy cutting out a bunch of embellishments. Maybe something will start to move. Maybe that motivation will start to click. I also love just sitting on Pinterest, honestly. All the things that I would probably never tell my kids to do are the things that I feel like if I can't find my motivation, they might be helpful to me, and I'm okay with it. So if I spend the month watching YouTube, I try not to, you know, go down the rabbit hole of watching mindless things. I try to pick maybe some new scrapbookers that I have never watched before, maybe a different type of craft that I don't normally do myself. So art journaling is something I don't do a ton of, or card making. Sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't, but I feel like you're not wasting the time and kind of just being mindless about it. You are still seeking out information, you're learning, and if it can spark something while you're doing all of that, then that's helpful, that's beneficial. Same with Pinterest. You know, instead of just mindlessly going through it, put something in the search engine. I don't know what it might be, the color pink, whatever it might be. There's a little bit of intention behind it. There's a little bit of purpose. And so you are learning something, you are getting ideas, you're using that creative muscle, and sometimes things spark. And then other times you just, I think, have to ride the wave. I don't think there's any way around it. I think that sometimes you do have to sit and be uncomfortable and be upset with yourself and ask yourself, you know, why? What's happening? Am I feeling depressed? Do I need to look into medication? Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to change my medication? Is there something going on in my life that I need to address? Sometimes we just kind of have to sit and be with it for a moment, and then find the ways to work on it. And so it's not always comfortable. It's not always something that we want to do. It doesn't always feel good, and it maybe doesn't even feel like you're being productive, but taking some time to be a little bit kind of contemplative and reflect on why you're feeling this way can help. Because if you can do something about it more than just kind of get through it, then I think in a way, you're helping yourself, you're going to make yourself feel better, but also you are working on your creativity, because if there's something blocking it and you don't address it, it'll keep coming back. So, you know, look into counseling, ask people what's going on, start a conversation with us if you need to reach out and talk to someone. And as you start to feel better and feel like you're taking care of yourself a little bit more and you're figuring things out for yourself, I think your creativity will come too, because creativity does usually come from a place of feeling confident and feeling good about yourself. So I think for now, those are my tips. I hope that they're helpful. I hope that you are enjoying this video and going to kind of follow through and see what's going on. I would like to talk a little bit more about the idea of productivity and other kind of little fun things about motivation. So Stay tuned for more videos. I think they're probably going to come from my cell phone, and I will most likely be in the car because I have a feeling that's going to be another place where I might get a couple quiet moments to just kind of pop in and say hi and give you a few thoughts. So they will be coming up, but please leave comments down below. Let me know what's going on with you guys. Say hello. I hope you all did have a lovely holiday season and everyone's kind of back into the groove of things. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe, and you know, that you have a positive outlook for 2022. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.